Welcome back to the Explainer. So we're picking up right where we left off with the ignition sequence of our massive aeroderivative gas turbine. If you remember from part 1, we finally got the engine lit and idling. Awesome, right? Well, now we're shifting our focus to a completely different challenge. How load actually gets applied to the turbine to generate electricity. And, crucially, how we do that without completely destroying a multi-million-dollar machine in the process.
Because look, an idling engine is a beautiful sound, and getting it lit is a massive victory. But an idling engine doesn't actually make power. To do its job, we have to hand over that full 30-plus megawatt capability to the electrical grid. And you can't just flip a giant switch to do that. We need a highly controlled sequence to introduce that massive load safely.
This brings us to Section 1, climbing the power staircase, and what we call the 5 megawatt rule. So rather than a smooth, continuous ramp-up, the machine is loaded in gradual, distinct steps, which are commonly right around 5 megawatt increments. The operators apply the load, and then they just hold steady at that step. They are watching the data like hawks, ensuring all those internal temperatures and vibrations completely stabilize before they ask the engine to climb even a little bit higher. It's a very deliberate, very patient rhythm.
Now, I have to ask you a logical question here, and it's one that often crosses the minds of folks who are new to the field. If the primary goal is to get the power plants online and making money, why not just apply the full load in one massive jump and save everyone's time? I mean, why take the stairs when you could just jump in the elevator? While taking a shortcut and applying full load in one shot causes severe thermal shock. You'd literally be swinging temperatures across the hot section of the engine hundreds of degrees in mere seconds. That aggressive expansion of metals severely shortens component life, and it can honestly destroy the machine outright. The stepped 5 megawatt loading process is specifically designed to avoid this thermal shock entirely, protecting the engine by giving the internal metals time to expand evenly.
Okay, moving on to Section 2, the pre-flight checklist, which covers commissioning tests and simulated faults.
You can really think of these tests exactly like a pilot's pre-flight checklist. They're absolutely not mere bureaucratic box-ticking exercises designed to keep management happy. They are life-saving rehearsals directly designed to prove, well in advance, that one single dead sensor isn't going to shut down the whole plant. Every single test on that list is written in the ink of a past failure.
To prove the system's resilience, engineers actually have to intentionally break things. They will physically cut power to a primary lube oil pump just to verify that the standby pump automatically roars to life. They'll simulate a sensor fault by, say, lifting a wire, just to confirm it triggers an alarm without throwing the entire turbine into a full emergency shutdown. The whole goal here is to guarantee the safety systems catch a single fault and handle it with graceful degradation, keeping the plant safe and, if at all possible, online. Now, you might be tempted to skip these tests when you're under extreme pressure to get operational, but let's look at the reality here. If you rush the commissioning phase and skip this checklist, you are practically guaranteeing that hidden failure modes will only reveal themselves during an actual emergency. And that is exactly when you can least afford a surprise. You want to find out a backup pump doesn't work on a quiet Tuesday morning during a controlled test, right? Not during a massive grid-wide blackout. Which leads us nicely into Section 3, ready for the grid and the handoff to parallel operations. Because look, getting one massive engine safely to full load and running beautifully is a huge victory for any site team. But it's really only half the battle. In the real world, these machines do not operate in a vacuum. Parallel load sharing is the chaotic reality of multiple massive turbine generators operating on a single shared electrical grid. It's an entirely different mechanical and electrical challenge. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. How exactly do you prevent these massive, roaring 30-megawatt generators from entering a dangerous, oscillating tug-of-war when they are all connected together? Because if they all try to dictate the exact same grid frequency at the exact same time, they will literally fight each other until something trips. How do we teach them to cooperate and share the load? Well, that is exactly what we are going to uncover in our next explainer. Thanks for learning with me today, and I'll catch you in the next one.